Mr. Lakavote. Written by Melody Grace. I'm not sure if this will help anyone, but if my story saves even one person from the nightmares I now endure, I will consider it a win. I have borrowed the phone that was smuggled in here, and the orally that now monitors every move I make will be coming shortly, so I must be brief. A few days ago, I was laying in bed scrolling through Reddit, like I always do to make myself sleepy, when I come across this story that sent shivers up my spine. After I was done reading, I thought to myself, wow, that was terrifying, and then scrolled to the next one. Big mistake. 20 minutes later, I heard a scratching noise coming from my bedroom door, and I froze. Confused as I lived alone, I turned on the lamp next to me and looked towards my bedroom door. Silence. After a moment, I decided it was my mind playing tricks on me. After all, I was reading scary stories in the dark. Probably not the best thing to do before bed, but hey, who doesn't love a good spine-chilling story before they close their eyes? I went back to scrolling through no sleep when again, I heard a long scratching on the door. I slowly got out of bed and tiptoed over to the noise, grabbing the door handle. I gently opened it and peeked into my living room, only to find it vacant. I quietly closed the door and turned to walk back towards my bed, when my closet door flew open. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to fight or fly reaction, I seem to choose the option that leaves you frozen in place with your eyes closed. A defense mechanism instilled in me from childhood and stories of the boogeyman. After a moment, I decided to open my eyes and cautiously look towards my closet. I physically heard the clock that was placed on my nightstand stop ticking. And that's when I met him. He was almost 8 feet tall, standing on long, spiny-looking legs, with impossibly long arms that seemed to stretch on forever. What I could see of his body looked to be covered in deep, dark cracks. He was wearing a long hooded cloak that touched the floor, as black as midnight on a moonless night, that slightly revealed his ruby red eyes. Who are you? I said with a shaky voice. He never physically moved his mouth, but I heard him speak into my soul with the most sinister voice.
I am Mr. Lakavote, and I am here to right your wrong.
Petrified, frozen in place, I tried to ask him what wrong I had done, but before I could finish, he was right in front of me. His breath smelled of rotten flesh and death itself as he breathed down my face. He reached out and ran his long, bony fingers across my cheek, and instantly I knew what he could do. I felt my eyes being ripped from my head and the burning sensation that followed. I began to scream, but no sound came out. I was stuck in my own personal hell as darkness surrounded me. Alone and afraid, I wanted to die. I wanted the agony to end. Again, I heard his voice as if it were my own thoughts.
I am the keeper of votes. You know what you did. You will right your wrong, or I'll take your eyes, along with your eternal soul. You have 24 hours.
Just as fast as he had appeared, Mr. Lakavote had vanished. I did not sleep the rest of the night. I had visions of the horror I had just endured that left me sweating and cold at the same time. Had I dreamt the whole thing? Could my mind even make up something so sinister and evil? And the pain. Oh Lord, the pain I felt. I have never experienced anything close to that kind of suffering in my entire life. The next morning, pacing my apartment, I tried my hardest to think of what I had done wrong. Did I forget to vote in our recent election? Had I missed an employee poll at work? What the hell had I not voted on that was so important that my soul depended on it? Trying to clear my head, I decided to open Reddit. as it always seemed to make me feel better and relaxed. While I was scrolling, I passed the story I had read the night before, the one that had made the hair on the back of my neck stand. That's when it clicked. I had scrolled to the next one before I gave the story the upvote it deserved. Instantaneously, I clicked on the up arrow and waited, hoping with every part of my being that that was the answer. Was I playing a guessing game with my life? I waited the whole day. I didn't eat. I didn't move. I barely even breathed. I thought about writing to my family and sorting my goodbyes out, but I felt too incredibly empty to conjure up the words. No one would believe me anyways. As the sun slowly set, I decided I might as well wait in my room and hope that I had redeemed myself, or possibly chance losing my eyes and soul. The thought of that alone made me vomit into the trash can next to my bed, and trembling violently with deep petrifying terror. When my 24-hour mark finally came, I closed my eyes, held my breath, and waited. Prayed, begged that my soul would be saved and all would be forgiven. Silence. Then I heard the breathing. I smelled the rotting flesh. I felt all the hair on my body raise. When I finally opened my eyes, I felt a chill that froze me to the bone, as if I was sitting inside a freezer meant for the dead. There he was, right in front of me. His eyes had turned to sapphires as he stared into my soul.
Don't let it happen again.
He bellowed in a voice that to this day still haunts my dreams. And then he was gone. I know some of you won't believe me. Hell, I'm not even sure if I believe myself. As the doctor here says, it's all in my head. But for the love of your eyeballs and your soul, do not forget to vote while you are reading stories on Reddit, or you too will have the pleasure of meeting Mr. Lakavote for yourself.